Hey. What's up? How you doing? Oh, man. Well, it's been a while. It's been a while since, we've seen each other. I haven't seen y'all since Christmas. I very well could have said, I haven't seen... Was that piece of fur? Even my own room won't let me say a joke that I want to say, which that's how bad it is. Like, I was gonna say, I haven't seen y'all since when. Shit! But honestly, I'm glad I didn't say that. Well, I mean, I probably just shouldn't record today. I'm done. I don't know. Video's over. If you enjoyed that wonderful video... No, I'm just playing, but for real. Don't you guys just hate it when the only time you want to do something, just the entire world tells you no? Like, not today? Like, I'm trying to get stuff out here and just... Okay. So, a lot has happened since, my last video. And all those things were a reason as to why I haven't been not only not active in making videos, but also not active in, the real world. Well, mainly the internet, but because I've been living in the real world, but just because if I haven't, this video wouldn't even be out in the first place. So, hey, I mean, I'm so bad at this. But okay, couple ground rules for this video. This video is going to be the most vulnerable that I've been in any kind of video I've made. You know how YouTubers have that one serious video? This is basically one of that. But rest assured, it's nothing too terrible. It's nothing too terrible. At least nobody died. I didn't lose anybody. We cool. We all cool. But there will be some things that I will talk about, but it's mainly so I can just log where I am as in this moment right now. Because I can tell you the difference between a few months ago to now, there's a drastic difference, and it's a good one. But really, all the more in-depth stuff are reserved for my actual friends in real life. So in the nicest way possible, all the in-depth stuff is none of your business. But I feel like I should still share how I've been and what happened so I can pretty much, again, have it logged and be proud of myself a few years later for taking this opportunity to do this. Not only that, it's just so my story could help out other people who are experiencing the same things that I have been struggling with. And that is so crazy to say, because that's something that I rarely say, but we'll get back to that later. Now, for those of you who wanted me to have a more upbeat return, don't worry. There will be a video, I estimate, either 1 hour after this, 30 minutes after this. It depends on how long this video is, but I'd say about an hour after this video, there will be a much more lighthearted, fun video, back to form, back to roots. So those of you who don't want, to know all the whereabouts and all the stuff from this video, you can click off now and just wait an hour. But for those of you who really want to know, stick around. I'll tell you everything. Well, not everything, but everything that you need to, you get my point. So today we have 3 things to talk about. They go from least important to most important. Now, these are important, but just the bottom of the barrel is the biggest one compared to the first, second. You get it. First thing, I want to say how astonished I am for the support of one of my videos that I've made. That video being Chester and the WarioWare moving right along. Like, oh my goodness. I remember back in the day on my Instagram, I posted the exact moment that it hit 5K views. And to know that it's not only better than the original, but it's still the most viewed Chester and the Others video. Like, that is baffling to me. And it's not like the views have stopped or anything. They're still going up, albeit slow, but they're still going up. Like, so many new people are going into the comment section. So many new people are watching the video. And I literally cannot be more thankful of your support. And the voice actors, you know, are happy about it too. Like, I remember Colin, who voiced Young Cricket, DM'd me when I made that post saying, you know, oh, it's great to be, you know, a part of this. You know, I'm so happy I was able to be a part of this. And I'm like, hey, I'm glad to bring you on board. You are fantastic, Cricket. I was messing around when I wrote that part of the script. But the main reason why I wanted to bring that up was because someone named Carmen actually took the video and redubbed it as the voice of 9Volt.
I guess we can say that he has to get it together.
Now, believe it or not, I actually wanted someone other than myself to voice 9Volt, but that was around the time to where I just didn't get any auditions for 9Volt. I mean, I think people didn't want to voice 9Volt because of how bad he is and Get It Together. So, but like, come on, put the mechanics aside for the voice of the character. So eventually, I had to step into the ring and voice 9Volt. Well, I mean, I didn't have to, but like, I just wanted to do it. And my 9Volt wasn't the greatest, but the intentions are there. Luckily, Carmen did a much better job than I did voicing 9Volt, and I really do recommend that you go check out that dub because it is so baffling that what if my videos got dubbed? Like, and don't worry, that is transformative content. Like, taking the video, redubbing it in their own style, like that is fun. Like, there were some moments that I didn't even consider putting in the video that are just so much better. And some lines were said differently than in the actual video. I remember the most notable one when 9Volt was like, 9Volt! I love Nintendo! At the end, he said that if my mom doesn't intervene, but Carmen said it like, if my mom knows what I mean. I think that could have been because I didn't enunciate enough. That is on me. But yeah, thank you so much for your support on moving right along. That's the entire reason why the channel's been still semi-alive when I was gone. So thank you so much for that. And thank you, Carmen, for dubbing. That is a wonderful job. You did a wonderful job. Now, on the topic of videos, that is going to be the second thing we're going to talk about. What are videos going to be like now? Now, I know I've said time and time again that I want to upload more frequently. You know, I want to do this and that. And sometimes I delivered, sometimes I haven't. Like, most notable one is Nika Ween. Like, Nika Ween, like, that was, like, in my opinion, a perfect month. A perfect month for the channel. Because I wrote everything ahead of time. I bought everything ahead of time. I did everything ahead of time. That was an expensive month. That was really expensive. But the main reason why I liked making those videos so much was because they had passion. They had a sense of, I'm proud that I made this. Now, there are some videos I've made that I'm not necessarily fond of, evidently. But, this year, I want to be a bit more experimental with my videos. Now, I know that is a huge risk because, you know, things like the YouTube algorithm and stuff. And the algorithm has been sort of nice to me, but at the same time, it's also mean, if you know what I mean. Like, it's good for videos like moving right along that's still getting videos up. What? It's been good for moving right along, good for getting views up. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. But other videos like Who Stole Nico's Cake, one who I especially loved making, didn't get that much traction, but it's still in a good viewership in my eyes. Because compared to 754 subscribers I think I have now, compared to like the 150 views, maybe more, maybe less, I don't know. That's still very good in my eyes. Well, not very good, but it's still pretty good, you know, solid. Mainly the thing I wanted to focus on is quality over quantity. Now, I know that's tough because with YouTube, it's the opposite. It favors quantity over quality. So you either have to have high quantity but also have it high quality and stress yourself out, or focus on the quality but not have much quantity, or focus on the quantity and make stuff that you don't feel proud of with the quality. And that is how I felt when I made Wrath of the Wreath. Like, I just needed something Christmas related, and I thought of the quickest idea I could think of. I had another idea for our Christmas video, but I knew that I just wouldn't be able to get it out in time just because I waited too long. So I wanted to make something quick and easy, and just it became, you can see some of my frustrations when making the video. Like with the whole joke with in reference to that one open season YouTube poop. Like it just overstayed its welcome, and just I wasn't really proud of that video. Like, you gotta make stuff that you're proud of, you know? Stuff that you can look back on and think, I'm glad I made this. Even if you cringe at it a little, you still feel like, I am glad I made this. Wrath of the Wreath, I mean, yeah, it was a shorter video, but I wish I could have done a lot better. There were some jokes in there that just, you know, sounded a lot funnier in my head, but when they were put on screen, nah. So that's why the videos that I make from this point forward are going to be a bit more quality based than so quantity. I'll still try to get them out at a decent amount of time, but nowhere compared to back in the old days where I just made quantity, you know. I want more quality in my videos, and I feel like that's where I'm going to strive and best. So yeah, you know, videos will be more quality based than quantity based. I'll hopefully feel more proud in putting out the stuff that I deliver. I'll try to write things that I'm more proud of. I'll try to feel more passionate in writing, because I've been at a block to where I wasn't. So yeah, I'll definitely try to do the things that I've listed for this second part. You know, it's so hard. You know, like it's I mean, sometimes it's easy, but like it's still hard to try to find that idea and find a way to go along with it. You know, sometimes I make it look easy, but even I'm like, you know, how did I do that? Yeah, that's definitely something that will be more common in the future. And the video that's going to be releasing after this is going to follow that same format. So stay tuned. All right. Now, for the third thing that I want to talk about. See, we're almost done. We're literally almost done. And it is the biggest thing that I have had to deal with. And it's been more frequent in these past few months. And I feel like in order for me to properly go through with what I'm going with is to stop running, you know? It's to actually turn around and face the thing, because you can only run from something for so long until you gotta turn around and fight back at it. So let's start off with a timeline of events. So this was all the way back when I released Friday Night Funkin' Refunked. Around that time, I had a lot of projects planned, and they didn't release in the time frame that I really wanted them to. And, you know, happens. It's no one's fault. You know, pretty much I said planned for this month, planned for that month, because I think Chester and the Donkey Kong was supposed to release in mid-late March. I remember from that one April Fool's video that I made. It's getting louder. It's getting freaking... Are you done yet? Now, I wanted to release Chester and the Donkey Kong in mid-late March because I wanted to save Refunked for April, because I wanted it to release on April 30th. Because, you know, that's Pico Day. But ultimately, Donkey Kong ended up taking April, and Refunked ended up taking May, which wouldn't necessarily be a problem. But the thing is, I remember saying that I wanted to release Nick commentary for Chester and the Wait What Happened to Nico for the 6-year anniversary. And that ultimately didn't happen. And, you know, after I released Refunked, I thought to myself, you know, maybe I could do it like the old days. Do it tomorrow to where I could record as much footage as I possibly can. And then try to edit as much as I can in a way that to where I could at least get something out. But, you know, the world just doesn't plan it the way you want it to. That point just left my mind in a very vulnerable state. And because, you know, of that, this part's really hard for me to talk about, but, just gotta say it. So a bit after that whole fiasco of completely missing that video for my 6-year anniversary, having all those unscheduled videos released, shortly after that, I managed to feel a bit weird. Like, there was this moment in that time where my mind was just going crazy. And, you know, my heart rate started to pick up. And I felt, you know, shaky, wobbly, and just, you know, I felt like I was losing myself. And, that is what we call a panic attack. Or alternatively, an anxiety attack. Because panic attacks just happen out of nowhere, but anxiety attacks are caused because of something. Now, that happened, and I was able to deal with it on my own. Like, everyone else was asleep, but I was just in that state trying to figure out, you know, what is this? Why do I feel like I'm going to die? But then I remembered what it was, because I've had people I know and friends I've had who had panic attacks back in the day, and you know, I saw what it was like, because their panic attacks were loud. There's a difference between a loud panic attack and a quiet one. Mine are sort of in the middle. Like, you can see something's wrong, but I'm not like actively freaking out, at least outwards. Inwards, though, yeah. So because I knew what it was, I was able to calm down a bit more. I was able to sleep. I was able to move through the day, and, you know, nothing happened for a good few months. I was able to release Who Stole Nico's Cake, which is still one of my favorite videos to this day. July passed with no video. Then came August with 5 Laps at Freddy's, which, you know, we all know how that ended up. And, you know, that was that. Until September rolled around. Now, fun thing about me is that I really do care about my health and well-being. And that's part of the reason why I don't do any I don't do any drinking, I don't do any substances. I don't do that. And even when I turned 21 this year, oh my goodness, even when I turned 21 this year, I'm gonna be 21. But point being, like, even when I turned 21, like, I'm not gonna touch a bottle of booze. None of that. Nada for the rest of my life. Because I don't want to welcome in any negative effects onto me. You know, it's not where I'm headed. I care so much about my health to the point to where I start to think, you know, what's the worst that could happen about me? Like, what's the worst thing? I say a few days ago as if this just happened. No. In September, that was me a few days ago. Hey, hi again. Now, this is a more current version of me. Now, as I was editing the video that I edited previously, I realized, one, it was becoming way too long. I was saying way too much. And I saw the time aggressively get longer and longer, and I thought to myself, there's no way no one's gonna watch this. But not only that, I was saying some things in there that was a bit too much of information to lay out. I didn't say anything like extremely personal, but just the things that I was saying ended up being, one, way too long, and two, just going a bit way too in depth as I wanted. So I figured I would take this time to actually update what I originally wanted to say, leaving off at the September part of the story. So where I left off, pretty much I had something that was a bit minor, but I thought it was the most major thing in the world. So I made another appointment with my doctor. And shortly after that, I had another panic attack. And this time it was much worse than the last one. Mainly because it was the fact that when you have panic attacks, it's not just up here, it's physical as well. And it's a constant loop. So whenever, you're panicking up here, oh, I'm panicking, oh, I'm calming down, I still feel the physical symptoms. What if something's happening again? And you're back up here. It's like that. And it got so bad to the point where the paramedics had to be called. It was that bad. I thought I was having a heart attack. But luckily, they told me that, listen, your heart rate is totally fine and your heart is beautiful. It's just anxiety. Everything is perfectly fine in there. You just need to find methods to calm down. And he taught me a bunch of methods to calm down, like, calming down music, like breathing in and out. Then he told me like the ice bowl method where you fill up a bowl of ice. What? Where you fill up a bowl of water, put ice in it, then dunk your face in there because it'll activate your diver's reflex. It can make you completely forget about, well, not forget, but just lessen it, And then they said, it's a nice morning out. You can go take a nice morning walk, which I like doing that. I like taking nice morning walks. And I did that. And then after that, I put on nice music and then proceeded to fall asleep until 1 p.m. Got my sleep. So nothing happened for the next few months. Until those fires happened. Yeah, you remember in Southern California where those fires happened? Luckily, I wasn't in them. I was like smack dab in the middle. Like there was a fire over there. There was a fire over there. I was smack dab in the middle. But because I wasn't directly affected by the fires, there was still an indirect way that I could be affected by the fires. And that was with all the chemicals being flown around because buildings that got burned down were ancient and they contained a lot of negative chemicals that are flying around and stuff. So I wasn't aware of that. Now, that wouldn't be so bad if I didn't need to go outside for a couple times. But rest assured, I didn't consume anything bad. I am perfectly fine. But that's not what my mind thought. My mind thought that my chest was congested. You see, there's a difference between your chest being congested and it feeling congested. And because it was like that, I ended up having another episode. And that went on for about 3 days. Well, not 3 days in a row. Well, not three. No, okay, 3 days in a row, but like not like all at the same time. I mean, like it happened like every night because it derived from it being uncomfortable to sleep with a congested feeling. And I don't like sleeping uncomfortably. I like sleeping comfortably. We all do. But yeah, I thought I was, something genuinely was wrong with me. So I ended up calling my doctor again. Again, the doctor was like, Nico, this is normal, all right? Everything in there is normal. You're just having some anxiety and stuff. So I think you should go talk to a specialist about this. And at first I was hesitant because I didn't know how to talk to a specialist. I barely even know how to talk to people in general, Autism. Now this next part is going to be difficult for me to talk about. Not in the sense that it's hard to talk about. I mean, it's hard to talk about while you're keeping these people's lives private. Because the people who are involved in this, they're good people. Like there's nothing, no bad blood, nothing bad happened. Things just happen. Things just don't work out. So to put this in the most simplest terms possible, around this time, Valentine's Day was coming up, and I almost had another reason to celebrate it again. I'm always making videos towards Valentine's Day, except for that 1 year where it birthed the great and mighty. Shut up! But this year was different. Shortly after I was having my episodes and I was able to calm down by, spending time, it just didn't work out. And that's okay. I'm no stranger to this kind of stuff. It is totally acceptable to not have things work out. But as long as there's still good terms between you two, you fine. But that doesn't make it hurt any less, So after that moment happened, ironically, that snapped me out of another potential attack I was going to have due to my congestion. And I was calm for a couple days because, I was hit with that bombshell, but, at least my anxiety was mostly gone until it picked up again shortly after. And due to some other reason, I don't know. And at that point, I decided, okay, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I'm going to call the specialist and see what can be done. So now I've started going to therapy. And let me tell you, it is one of the best choices I have ever made, because frankly, it was long overdue, because it's not just this that I've been through. I've been through like this numerous times, like with grief, loss, you know, growing up, like, you know, being an outcast, you know, and, you know, I thought I was fine through most of it, and I was, but, you know, just now that I'm older, I can make those decisions to get the help that I need. And, you know, I'm glad that I did. You know, I get up, go to my therapist, talk for about 30, 45 minutes. And that is like every day there's just like imagine stacks of weights on your shoulders. Like every time I go, it's like 1, 2, 3. Like it just feels great to just let everything out and actually have help with the things that you're going through. And it's been great. But I will admit that between all of this, it hasn't been the best. The therapy's been great. You know, I mean like outside of that. Because this year in particular, I wanted to try to distance myself from social media and stuff like Instagram, because we all meme about the Instagram comment section being like the most toxic place ever, and they're not wrong. But like I said, Valentine's Day was rolling up, and like on Instagram, like that's like, you know, when everyone is posting, you know. To me, that wasn't a year to where I could be on the app at that time. Now I want to make one thing clear. I am so I am so happy that people are able to spend Valentine's Day. I'm so happy that people are able to spend time with their loved ones. They're able to, you know, show their appreciation for others. And, you know, I am more than happy about that. But I knew that if I was on the app at that time, it would just make what happened before then hurt a bit more than usual. It's like when, you know, something good's about to happen and you're prepping for that good thing to happen, then something bad happens right there. And then when you finally get to that, you just don't feel like you even want to do the good thing. So after that point, I turned off my notifications for the app and I just left it for a few days. And honestly, it was relieving because, you know, a day without social media, a day without constantly looking like outwards out there and focusing on you, on your side of the life, it was good. But just because I went to therapy doesn't mean that I wasn't having anxiety at the time. I still was, but it was never to a point to where it was like that intense again. They happened and they felt annoying and uncomfortable, but, you know, they weren't to the point to where, you know, I had to call the paramedics again. I ain't doing that. But I was still trying to find methods to stop it. Because, you know, I've been told that if you try to run from anxiety, that'll just make it worse, because it'll make it feel like that you can't have it. You know, you're not supposed to have it. But instead, if you just welcome it and endure it a couple of times, you know, your mind will start to think, this ain't dangerous. You know, I ain't gonna die from this. And having that mindset in me really helped a lot. So after that point, I still kept myself off the app. I kept all notifications off. I was, you know, working on me. I was trying to deal with that anxiety by being more proactive, as my therapist calls it. Meaning that all the things you would do to stop a panic attack, you would do in your normal everyday life. And that doesn't mean you every day dunk your face in an ice bucket. Like, no. That's only for like if you're in the middle of it. I mean, like, do things that are better for you. Like, you know, eat healthier, do exercise. I've been doing that, but I've been doing yoga as well. Yoga helps you bring all of your tensions and then just release them and properly stretch out your body and just not just be more flexible, you know, not just to be more flexible, but just to really find the proper point to where you stretch and let out all the tensions that you had that you don't even think about. Like, I bet your jaw's clenched right now. Like, relax your jaw. See? But the key factor to all of this was because my Instagram was off for a couple weeks, I realized that I wasn't able to communicate with my friends on there. And in the middle of that time, I thought to myself, you know, I can't talk to them at the state that I am. Like, it's just, I'm not mentally prepared for that. I gotta find a way to deal with my own issues so I could be able to talk again. I think some of you know what that's called. That is what's called completely shutting down. I just completely mentally shut down. Not just with the anxiety, but with all the other things that was going on with me, which we've discussed before. And I realized how unfair that was to my friends. Like, I would never intentionally, you know, hurt the people I love. You know, that's not, you shouldn't do that. What I should have done was communicate to them, because communication solves everything. I should have said, hey guys, I need to log off for a bit, you know, going through some things right now, but I'll be back as soon as I can when I'm ready to. And I sort of did that. I say sort of because one of my friends reached out to me personally saying, hey dude, we noticed you haven't been active for a few weeks. Is everything okay? And I was honest. I said, hey, thanks for reaching out. When I'm ready to share, I'll be ready to share. And but again, thanks for reaching out, and that was that. So yeah, the only downside of being off of that is not being able to communicate with your friends. And I should have communicated ahead of time, but that's something I'll do in the future. If I ever need to log off, I'll say it, and then that'll be that. I am sorry that I've been so quiet, and not just on video side of things, but also in the real world. But sometimes you gotta put the phone, the social media, and everything else down and just be in the moment. Because the more you're out of it, the more you'll generally feel like you're living in an out-of-body experience. The more you're not feeling connected with the world, the more you're questioning who you are. When people say be kind to yourself, what does that really mean exactly? And there's no definitive answer, but I can say this. Having a wellness day doesn't just mean sitting around doing nothing. It's getting up, being active, go for a walk, like, play the game, like do yoga, go out, hang with friends, you know, reward yourself after a long adventure walk. That's another thing I want to talk about. Throughout that time, to help me figure out who I was, to help me figure out, you know, what's been going on, I ended up taking this thing called an adventure walk, where you just walk with no destination. And for me, I'm lucky because where I'm at, there's city and then there's nature up there. I walked up to the nature side of things because walking through the city just makes you reminded of the real world way too much. So I went up to the city. It's trash day. But yeah, I was walking up to nature and I was playing music on my phone, and this one song from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was playing. And it's the song, There's Always Tomorrow, you know. There's always tomorrow. That one. That song is not only an incredible song, it fills me with so much nostalgia, it's also very eye-opening. It's great knowing that you do have tomorrow, that you are able to do things that you want. That adventure walk really helped me open up and see what life is out there. Because when you're on social media, you always think of the worst, because you see the worst. I'm not saying the bad things didn't happen, because they do. But when you distance yourself from the internet, your perspective changes. You realize that people aren't as judgmental as, you know, the internet makes them seem out to be. At least externally, you know, because on the internet, they say whatever they want. Like, you can say whatever you want because you're behind a screen and you have no proper repercussions for being disrespectful. But pretty much to sum it up, I've been dealing with anxiety, you know, a number of other things, and I just needed time to recollect myself, because I didn't want to present myself in a negative state of mind. Because I was planning videos for Valentine's Day, and as I was writing them, they became not necessarily negative, but there were hints of negativities in there, and I didn't want to project that onto the real world. I wrote 2 drafts of projects, and I stopped midway through because I just wasn't proud. I wasn't proud of it. And part of that was because I didn't have my spark. But now that I do, I'm able to make those videos again. Not those videos that I was playing for Valentine's Day. No. Those are in the trash. I mean, like, actually creating stuff that I'm proud of and being ready to talk with my friends again. And again, they're going to get the more in-depth version of this entire video. So this is where your journey ends. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And again, this was made so I can log myself, see how I am a few years later. Because I can tell you how I felt in January/February compared to now. There is a drastic difference. And I'm so thankful. Thankful for my therapist, thankful for my friends, my family. And every time I go to a new therapist meeting, I learn something new. And that's great because I know it's working. You got to be your own best friend. So that way you can be a better friend to the people around you. And that's really important. I think that's what they mean by be kind to yourself. You got to be your own best friend. You can't just be, constantly pestering yourself. Be your own enemy. Like, be your own best friend. Now, that's easier said than done, but when you find it, you'll find it.
And now, back to the past.
That's where I've been. I've been struggling with a spark in making videos, anxiety, the reason why I wasn't there for Valentine's Day, and it's been a struggle. But hey, I'm here now. And I am a whole lot better than what I was. Like, I even did a little trim on my hair. Like, you remember how my hair was all puffy and matted, it's not perfect now, but like, I got a whole chunk of it, off, like all the damaged stuff. Like, we tired of it, it's time to start anew. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been working. Not just on videos, but on me. Hey, my friends, I'm going to get back to you in the messages. I'm going to make sure I respond to you properly. If you've been here through the entirety of the video, thank you. It really does mean a lot. And, if this video was too much for you, I totally get it. I totally understand. Which is why in an hour or maybe a few minutes, it depends on how long this video, you're getting another video that's back to roots, as we say. So with all that said and done,
He's big, he's black, he's back.
Tell me to never say that again. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next video, and I guess there's only one thing left for me to say. Thanks for watching!